are here with next generation leaders. And I'm so delighted to have them all here to talk to us about their journey of mostly entering their families' businesses. Now, each of you have either willingly or perhaps you've been influenced by the family to join the business. What I'd like to ask you is, how has your family's business influenced your own career aspirations?
So I think for me, personally, like growing up, it was always, part of our lifestyle, going properties, meeting people, like agents, whoever it was, like coming home. So it was part of our life. And I thought, one day at least I would like to, honor our grandfather's legacy and continue what he started. And also I think my dad played a big role in motivating us. Like you said, he gave us responsibility from a young age onwards, gave us the confidence to do things, take decisions. And that has motivated myself and my brothers to, keep going and contribute as much as we can.
So from the very beginning, you had a feeling that you are going to one day be in the family business.
Somewhat, yes.
Yes. All right. Do you have a story to tell?
So Jat was started by my father 30 years ago. I very much grew up with the business. So we were going through with our 30th year coming up, this one. We were looking through old family pictures and stuff like that. And there's a picture of my brother and I unloading the first container. Little in our pajamas, the cutest little thing. And I think I always wanted to work outside of the business, which I did. I worked in Aussie for a little while. But there's something about being part of a family legacy. I mean, Jack is a listed company now, but it was something, it inspires you, right? You see your father, your family working towards something and building something from scratch in this situation. And you have to, like, there is something inside you that drives you to want to be there, build on it, improve the legacy, leave your mark on it, and, put your own little spin on it as well.
But have you never ever entertained the thought of what if? I mean, did you ever want to venture out? Anybody out of the family?
So I worked outside of the family business for about 4 years.
Yes.
In private banking.
But you decided, no, it's better here.
No, decided fate, whatever it was. I got stuck here during COVID. So came back into the family business and it's beautiful. I love it. Absolutely love it.
What about you, Geshan?
So, yeah, it's the same, but growing up, all I wanted to do was play cricket.
Okay, yes. And you're quite good at it, aren't you? Yes.
So I knew that I have to join at some point. But initially, it was all cricket for me. So I was not even studies, all cricket for me.
Okay, that's interesting. What about you, Shehana?
When I was really young, I think I wanted to be maybe like an Olympic swimmer or at one point a pilot and things like that. But then after I graduated, I was at KPMG for about 2 years. But that was also in training to come into the business with maybe a different open mindset. So it's always been part and parcel.
So you've been groomed from the very start too. Yes, all right. Now, many of you are entering a business which has several decades of a legacy. What are the challenges you feel coming into the family business? I mean, it's a very unique thing, right? You're not just entering any corporate, it's your family's legacy. So what challenges do you feel you face in this role of yours?
I still remember one of my first meetings at Jeff. Again, grew up with the business, right? So some of our employees have been with us for about 27 to 30 years. And one of my first meetings, I was sitting down, we had one of our suppliers there, and one of our older employees walks in and he's like, "Oh, Anika Baba Komada." And I was just like, no, you can't say that. Just Anika, it's fine. Yeah. But I think one of the unique challenges you face maybe, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, is you're seen as the child of the owner. And sometimes it's viewed as the fact that your seat at the table is because you're the child of the owner. So in a way, you have to work 10 times harder than anybody else does to prove the fact that you're not just there because of, the family legacy or anything like that. I think that's probably one of my most unique challenges that you would face as opposed to an employee in a business.
Yeah, to not feel like you're the privileged one, but the fact that you are equally willing to work hard to earn the role that has been given to you.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you have also been groomed for this position for many years, perhaps from childhood. So we'd like to now just talk about how has it been for you learning the ropes of this business. Sometimes people might think you've been given a place of privilege because you are the owner's son or daughter. So let's now talk a little bit about how you've been molded and how you have been developed over the years to take on the role that you have today. Have you been sent somewhere? Have you been put in a course to learn the ropes of what you're doing today?
Yeah, I think I've participated in the E&Y Next Generation program
Okay.
a couple of years ago, I think, just before COVID. That was a very invaluable forum for me because there were participants from all over the world, from the US to China, to Australia, Singapore. And when we were all around the table and we were talking, just like we are today, all the experiences have been very similar. So that was really interesting. I think my formal training began just after I graduated because my father was very insistent that I go out to KPMG and learn from there, from the grassroots levels, and prove myself. And then when he got me into the company, it was as a management trainee because learning from the grassroots levels was very important because it gives you a sense of the people that you work with, which is like your second family.
Now, let's talk a little bit about innovation because now you've all been coming from second generation, for you, third generation now. So there have been many generations before you who have a way of doing things. They're used to doing things a certain way, and the company is used to being run with that kind of vision. And now you're coming in and perhaps in your own little way trying to shake things up, bringing a new perspective, a younger perspective. So let's talk about your role in bringing something new to the table. Let's find out, what have you been doing to change things a little bit in your own way? In hospitality, perhaps? Let's start with Hashan.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, from our side, one thing that, I think we're really blessed to have a great team, both senior and junior. So, again, it's not only from us as well, like even the youngsters in our, like overall in the organization also come up with, the new trends, the new systems, all that. So, of course, sometimes the challenges with all the legacy companies, the fact that changing systems and things take a lot of time because, like literally until about 15 years ago, I think everything was manual. And then we started using in hospitality, we call it property management system, basically the ERP. And then now we are trying to get into new systems. So implementing those takes a bit of time, especially when you have a senior management team who are, senior.
As you said, yeah, when you're running a family business, it's very hard to implement things at once. Even if you're 100% correct, you have to slowly
patient,
put that into the system because it's been running for a long time and which was also successful. So you have to have patience a lot.
So that's something you actually learned from your dad, right? Get the buy-in from everybody, and now you have to wait for them.
You can't say, what you all have been doing for the last 30 years is useless. You have to do this now. You can't say that because it has been...
I know, it's been successful for so long.
Yeah, so then when you're implementing change, you have to justify and why we're doing this, why we need to get more, especially data and things. Earlier, for example, we had all physical servers everywhere. Now it's on the cloud. So all those changes take a lot of time. It's not like a startup where you can start with all of those things already.
Hey, and then you put AI into it.
Exactly.
Where are we going next?
All these consultants come and say things, right? You have to do this, you have to do that. I know how to do these things, but it takes time. It's not like something that you can straight away get in.
No, for sure. I think being a family business, it's you have a sense of agility in some ways, and it's getting everyone's buy-in at the end of the day, right? You've got to pitch your idea and get everyone on board, and I think that is a really key. But I think that's true for any organization, really. Actually talking through, taking the time to explain to people, we have our vision and mission and our plan, our 5-year plan that we actually talk to from each employee, whether you're working in the factory or you're a senior manager, board director, we take the time to actually talk you through. So we do like a town hall sort of system. And so that helps because if everyone understands why you're making the change, it helps to get them on board and actually buy into it. So I think that's something that's definitely worked with us. And it's like you were saying, it's not just from us, it's from everyone, whoever is part of the organization, whether it's our CEO, the board of directors, or it could be someone who's part of the staff who just sees something and goes, guys, why are we not doing this?
Okay.
So, yeah.
And on the flip side of that also, I think an advantage in a family business, the decision-making process can be fast as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Although it takes time to implement the change, the decision to do it can be faster because obviously there are more influential sources in the group. So that kind of helps as well.
So what are the key qualities that next generation leaders need to have to be able to not just sustain, but take their business to another level?
I would say patience is one important.
Yeah, and I think that's been echoed by everybody. Everybody agrees. It takes patience to build something great. Okay.
Yes, because it has been building over the years, so you can't come and try something new and reap rewards immediately. So patience is one of the key factors that you will have to take into considerations when you are coming up with a new idea, or when you're stepping into a business, or we are trying to implement something different.
And I think everybody agrees here. So apart from patience, what would you say? Shehana, what do you think?
Being humble
Okay,
enough
yes, that's
to
a big
know
one.
that you have been given a very huge responsibility,
Yes.
and being grateful for that,
Yes.
and being able to be open-minded and learn from those around you who has such a wealth of experience. And also together with that, being financially prudent. Again, I have to echo patience, because something my father always says is "Ali kunat kan pulam pudda pudda kawat." So
Yes. Yeah. That's interesting. I enjoy the fact that you say financially prudent, because there are so many, people who have been gifted all of this wealth and success, and they take it for granted. But like you say, you should be prudent with what has been given to you, right?
Definitely.
Anika, what would you say?
I think continuous learning as well, right? We live in an ever-changing world, and I think more so than even in our parents' time, technology is changing so much. The innovations out there changing so much. So to be able to ask the questions and learn from those who are around you, like you said, Shehana, but also seek out that knowledge. I think that's really, really important.
Yeah. Hashan, what's that one key quality you think you
So I
need?
think both of us are in
All
this
right.
unique situation where, we're in the third generation. And normally that, like, from the time I was small, like, all of us have been hearing this thing where the first generation builds it up, they go through the hard work.
Yes,
The second
yes.
generation takes it to another level. And then the third generation brings it down. Like, that's the kind of rhetoric that...
Comes with a great responsibility.
that's a
People
lot
are
of
looking, okay, you are the third generation. You're going to be the carpet.
So for me, I think it's loving what you do and believing the core values of why you're doing it. If you have if you 100% love and believe in what the organization does and want to take it forward along with, and you can inspire everybody else in the organization to take that forward, I think then hopefully you should be able to take it also.
That's a good takeaway. I mean, if you have a strong purpose, then the purpose itself carries you. It's not just because of the family, but because you really believe in what you're doing. Fantastic. Now we're moving into another round, and that's not really a serious discussion. And you don't have to be all polite. You can feel free to disagree. And let's now move into that next round. We're now in a very fun round. We've got quick questions that we'd like to ask them. Do you think work-life balance is achievable? So why do you think it's a no?
I think there's no work life per se, because if you are in charge of your own business, or even if it's in the middle of the night, it's your baby, so
Right.
you will have to do it.
Yeah.
So it's not a strict 8:30 to 5:30.
Now I see
kind of
Hashan
rule.
nodding. So do you want to change your answer?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can always...
Yeah. If you want to take Monday off, you can take Monday off
that
as
is
well,
right.
right?
You have flexibility than others.
yeah.
The next question. At a business meeting, have you ever pretended to know what was going on when you really had no clue? All right, okay. So,
No, sorry, I'm sorry. I got me. It has to be yes. Sorry. It has to be yes.
all right, so all of them have pretended to know something. Do you want to give us examples? Anything in particular where you had a specific meeting where you had absolutely no idea what was happening and then you just nodded?
I've attended meetings where my father was supposed to attend, so I had no clue.
You just represented dad and now you have no clue what's happening. Okay.
But then you learn afterwards.
It's like, oh, that's what I was here for.
Would you ever go an entire weekend without the internet?
I would love to.
Wow.
The choice of...
Oh, wow. So we've got two no's and we've got two yeses. And surprisingly, the girls are the ones who said no. Wow. Okay. Okay. What would you do instead? Okay. If you were not online, what do you do? I don't understand.
Not check your phone.
What is life
Go
without
check your
you?
phone
Be with
and
nature,
put
be
some
with friends,
music
people,
and
family, everyone,
dance
like-
and maybe.
So clearly you guys are outdoor people.
So we went on a weekend getaway where we didn't have signal. It was not like we wanted to do like that, but that getaway was so good. That trip was so good because no calls, nothing. Because even on Sundays we used to get calls. So, but this weekend, this trip was so good. So I would like to do it, but I don't think I can do it purposely. But then if it happens, I would like to. Definitely. It's quality time.
Do you believe luck plays a big role in business success? So it's all of you believe luck. Well, that's interesting. So why would you say yes?
My dad always compared life and business to cricket because we all play cricket, and I think he's also played cricket all his life. So the famous Australian cricket commentator and cricketer said, life and cricket both is 10% skill and 90% luck. Because there's so many variables, whether it's in cricket or in life or in business, there's so many things you can't control, and you obviously need some form of luck.
While we're talking about luck, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to thank our partners for bringing this show to life. Our venue partner is the Grand Ward Place, the latest masterpiece landmark development that sets a new standard for ultra-luxury living in Colombo 7 with a stunning view of the city skyline. We'd also like to thank our hair and makeup partner, Chrissy's Hair Design Studio in Vakpala. I know all of you do feel lucky to be in the places that you are today, but I think this conversation has also proved that you believe that you also have a certain responsibility, a certain legacy to live up to. And it's been such a pleasure to have all of you here talking to us as next generation leaders. And we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.